His office put out the names of Homeland Security investigators and doxed our ICE enforcement officers. They claimed it was a mistake. There's zero chance it was a mistake, and there will be repercussions.
Yeah, so I think it's safe to say the mayor of Nashville, Tennessee is about to be in some very big trouble.
When you're putting their names on the internet, when something goes bad, and it's only a matter of time before something like that might happen, there could be very well criminal and, of course, civil penalties that ensue.
Okay, in less than 24 hours, the mayor of Nashville, Tennessee went from being investigated for abetting and aiding illegal immigrants, and now we have verifiable proof that he has been caught doxing ICE agents. Let's dig into all of this. Let's work together. Let's start with the doxing.
And so when you have the mayor of Nashville literally listing the names of agents and law enforcement on the internet, you're putting them and their families in harm's way, whether you intend to or not. And again, it's done. He's saying in the name of transparency, look.
Okay, we have to start on the Nashville.gov website. On this website, you have the ability to look up open data. Essentially, you can literally look up all of the interactions of Homeland Security with Metro PD, what they did in the operation, and at first, this is the updated list, they had the names of the investigators from Homeland Security all open sourced and open data. However, this video was posted on the internet where when you go to open data and you look up all of the information, and again, this information is already out there, you can actually see the names of the Homeland Security agents and other people involved with the operations.
His office put out the names of Homeland Security investigators and doxed our ICE enforcement officers. They claimed it was a mistake. There's zero chance it was a mistake, and there will be repercussions. Our ICE enforcement officers are already facing a 400% increase in assaults against them, and he's essentially handing over intelligence to these criminal gangs so that they can target our ICE enforcement officers. It's wrong, and it's beneath the city of Nashville, and I hope he will face consequences.
Now, what you're seeing here, this is all of the data of all of the ICE interactions, the updated data. I ran this through AI to make sure there's no more names on here, and I double-checked, there are no more names on here. So the mayor of Nashville, Tennessee, they did redact the names, but one thing to be clear, they admitted to this. They're not denying it. They have doxed ICE agents.
That most of these gangs, they're large criminal enterprises. They're a corporation, and they have very sophisticated surveillance capabilities that is, quite frankly, frightening. And so when you have the mayor of Nashville literally listing the names of agents and law enforcement on the internet, you're putting them and their families in harm's way, whether you intend to or not. And again, it's done. He's saying in the name of transparency, look, it's one thing to release data, you do it a week or 10 days later, however you want to do it, that kind of thing. But when you're naming names, when you're putting their names on the internet, when something goes bad, and it's only a matter of time before something like that might happen, there could be very well criminal and, of course, civil penalties that ensue.
Now, we have to remember the context of all of this. The mayor of Nashville, Tennessee made it abundantly clear, and he even put out an executive order. Any interactions between federal agents, to include ICE agents, and local law enforcement, it needs to be reported to the mayor's office, and this is how we got into this situation.
Some of those cases even included names of officers or agents, which again has since been taken down, but the city says that they created the page to increase transparency after community members asked for more information about local immigration enforcement. It's all a part of the mayor's amended Executive Order 30, an order that has already received criticism from Congressman Andy Ogles even before Fox 17 uncovered that they were including names of those agents in the cases.
Now, I think you'll get a kick out of this. The current mayor of Nashville, well, he's blaming the former mayor of Nashville for the executive order. It has nothing to do with him, or does it?
Now, the mayor's office says the page and Executive Order 30 is an extension of Mayor John Cooper's original executive order, but the interactions listed start in July of 2024, long after Cooper left office. Ogles continues to push for an investigation into O'Connell's actions, but the mayor has stood by his decision to publish all of this information, saying that transparency builds trust between local government and immigrant communities.
Now again, here's the crazy part. The mayor of Nashville, Tennessee is already being investigated before this doxing stuff came out. The doxing stuff all came out probably in less than 12 hours after the formal investigation has been announced on the mayor of Nashville, Tennessee. So I think he's about to be in some very big trouble, but we have an update on something else he could be in trouble for.
Also called for an audit into the belonging fund. So this was set up just days after ICE operations began. The fund was spearheaded by the Community Foundation of Middle Tennessee.
Now, we have an update on the belonging fund. If you're new to the story, the belonging fund is a crucial part of this entire investigation on the mayor. This is because the fund is being accused of using taxpayer money to be donated into the fund and funneled out to illegal immigrants. However, it turns out we actually have no way of knowing where the money is going to or who the money is going to.
According to the foundation's website, the fund does not collect information from beneficiaries, so that could limit the ability for any audit to prove it's breaking the law.
I know, you can't make this stuff up. However, it gets even more insane because you have someone on national television admitting, well, we are helping people, so who are these people?
The Belonging Fund is critical because, one, I can assure you that it's helping individuals maybe hopefully delay an eviction. They can pay their rent on time. They can pay for food. I mean, these are basic needs.
And again, the fund keeps saying no taxpayer money is associated with the fund, but if you can see the obvious here, we're on a government website talking about the fund, and a government website is paid for by the taxpayer.
It explicitly says that there is no government funding associated with the fund, and so no taxpayer, money is a part of that.
And look, let's be honest here, the gloves are officially off. When the mayor of Nashville, Tennessee has been caught doxing ICE officers and says, oops, my bad, it was a mistake, how do we know he knows what's happening behind the scenes with this fund? Again, the accusation is this fund is being used to aid illegal immigrants by using the taxpayer money being funneled into this. The fund is saying that's not true, but we're on a government website. That's why I keep harping on there's a lot of red flags here, which is why the mayor is being investigated.
Section 8 of U.S. Code 1324. It's the basis for Metro Council member David Benton's request, seeing if a not-for-profit fund is being used to help illegal immigrants.
I'm asking for a state or federal audit of each one of these so that I, as a local legislator, can clarify whether any funds are inadvertently supporting and violating.
Benton says the Belonging Fund, spearheaded by the Community Foundation of Middle Tennessee, could be violating the law and protecting illegal immigrants here in Nashville. He wants to ensure taxpayer dollars aren't a part of it.
And I've talked about this before, but the other big piece of information as far as that fund, if they know who the people they're helping is illegal and it is taxpayer money, but all of a sudden they don't have their information, we're getting into federal laws they could be breaking, such as bringing in and harboring certain aliens. And again, the red flag of all of this, the fund was made super public just after all of the ICE arrest and Tennessee Highway Patrol arrest and the executive order to create this environment of, hey, if you are local law enforcement, you have to tell the mayor's office when you're working with them. If not, you could have elected officials yell at you in the middle of the road.
But once again, we've been trailing these ICE vehicles that are in mostly silver type-esque, like Nissans and Hondas, and then they flicker on their lights, but they're unmarked silver cars, FYI.
Are you guys helping ICE out tonight? Okay, all right. No, we're good. Yeah, okay. Well, it could get you in trouble, so be careful.
Yeah, so it's not only the mayor of Nashville, Tennessee doxing ICE agents, you also have Representative Afton Bain, whose district is in the Nashville area, admitting to bullying ICE, admitting to bullying local law enforcement, showing everybody an arrest, talking about the type of vehicles ICE agents use, and then has the audacity to ask local PD, are you working with ICE? And by the way, that could get you in trouble. But again, the whole point of this and why Nashville is being investigated is because it opens the door for ridiculous activity to get ICE agents hurt.
The assaults on ICE officers are high. The doxing of ICE officers are at an all-time high. And people always complain, some of you here say, why they wearing masks? Or they're trying to protect themselves and their families. They got a dangerous job to do, and they're being doxed every day across this country. I've experienced myself 100 times, but I'm willing to take that because of the position I hold. And, we're not running a popularity contest. We're trying to enforce the laws enacted by Congress, doing it in a smart, effective way. So, yeah, the results are up, but it won't be tolerated. We've already shown you put a hands on an ICE officer, you can be prosecuted to the highest extents of the law.
So that is a recent interview from Tom Homan just a day after he confirmed he will be coming to Nashville to inspect the situation. I do want to make sure you guys understand, Nashville as a whole is not a sanctuary city. Tennessee as a whole state is not a sanctuary state. In fact, Tennessee probably has one of the most anti-sanctuary policies in the entire United States as far as not allowing for ICE to do their job. So when you have local officials like the mayor or state representatives doxing ICE agents and making it difficult for them to do their job, a job that's already really dangerous, and you make it even more dangerous, you can get in some very big trouble, which is why now I think the mayor is going to be in trouble. At first, I thought you had to do a lot more digging as far as piecing things together, but the doxing opens up the door for what the heck has been going on behind the scenes here in light of transparency.
Meanwhile, Metro's Director of Law, Wally Dietz, says they are limited on what they can do due to various state and federal laws.
We are powerless. We have absolutely no authority to instruct ICE not to carry out their enforcement actions. We have no authority to tell THP they cannot cooperate.
I mean, you're hearing from the mayor's office, there's nothing they can do as far as what ICE does within our city and our area. But again, a lot of red flags when the response to ICE's operations, we're going to post their names, and not only that, we're going to make it way more public than it already was, because apparently their names were already being listed. However, being listed this publicly and the mayor made an executive order to tell everybody, hey, I want to know all of the interactions, that's again a very big red flag, which is why he's being investigated.
Communicate with any Metro agency. The city also promoted a nonprofits fund to help immigrants.
And I find it offensive that a city mayor would politicize the role of Metro Police Department, requiring them to snitch on federal agents. That a city mayor would encourage citizens to file complaints to the Community Oversight Board if a member of local law enforcement is simply doing their job.
You've cracked down on sanctuary cities. The DOJ has put a pause on all federal funding to sanctuary cities and states. You filed a lawsuit against Chicago and the state of Illinois for being a sanctuary city. Am I wrong in my interpretation that a sanctuary city is aiding and abetting in lawbreaking?
Sean, what they're doing is they are choosing illegal aliens over the safety and security of their own citizens and the men and women of law enforcement who are out there trying to protect their citizens. Not only did we sue today the city of Chicago, we sued the state of Illinois, we sued the mayor, we sued the governor, and we sued others. And let me be very clear, if you don't comply with federal law, you're going to be next.
So Pam Bondi has already made it clear. It doesn't matter who you are, whether it's the doxing, whether you're putting illegal immigrants before American citizens, you're going to be put on the radar, but you're also most likely going to be prosecuted. One thing we are realizing as we dig into all of these investigations, and I keep saying this, it's very easy to pinpoint one law and then put it on an elected official and get them in trouble for it. And the mayor has already admitted to doxing. However, he apologized for it, but we know how that works. If you apologize for something, you're admitting to doing it. Now, the question is intent. Did he do it maliciously? Did he do it accidentally? And the timing of all of this will also be put into question. Now, the other really big story, again, remember, don't forget about this, the belonging fund. Whether or not taxpayer money is being funneled into this, right now, that's not even the biggest part of the story. It's the fact that you can't even do a proper audit on the back end of the belonging fund. And if the mayor this whole time has been posting public data points to the public, and criminals can have access to it, who knows what's happening behind the scenes with this? And I'm really curious what's going to happen. I do think the Belonging Fund might potentially get into some trouble for the audit, but also the fact they are admitting, yes, we do help people, but we don't have the information on the back end. Who are you helping? How are you helping them? Where's the money coming from? Who's making all this money? So yeah, we'll just wait and see what happens, but this is the update. I don't want to drag this on too long. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for being here. God bless, and we'll see you all later.